नमस्कार फ्रेंड, आप सभी का एक बार फिर से स्वागत है। और बैंकर्स के बारे में एक न्यूज द हिंदू न्यूज़पेपर में पब्लिश हुआ 19 जुलाई को। बैंकर्स स्टार्ट 4000 किलोमीटर सेव बैंक्स सेव नेशन कैंपेन। Public sector bank employees have started a campaign, Save Bank, Save Nation, 4000 kilometer, to seek justice from the people, even as the center is keen on amalgamation and privatization of the public sector banks. Similar campaign have been launched from Chennai, Hosur and Coimbatore, which will culminate in Tiruchi on July 22nd with a public meeting. The campaigners say the Narendra Modi-led Union government, which is working overtime to privatize all public sector banks ever since it came to power in 2014, has also paved the way for privatizing cooperative banks and is trying to wrest powers from the state government to administer the banks directly. If the 49% share of the rural banks are sold to the private sector as being proposed by the center, the rural poor will not get any loan, even their emergency needs. If the banks are privatized, there will be no safety for the deposits and the financial services being offered to the common man. The private banks, which offer certain services and benefits to their customers now because of the existence of public sector banks, will scrap them if all PSU banks are privatized. Loans for farming operations, small businesses, higher education, and so on will be stopped, while corporate firms, which usually do not properly repay loans with interest, will get whooping loans without any surety. Transparency in recruitment of staff will be a thing of the past, and reservation in recruitment of staff will go, they warn. The bankers recall that most of the private sector financial institutions become bankrupt before 1969, and most of the investors lost their deposits in the banks instantly. When the 2008 economic meltdown saw multinational banks beating the dust, the banking sector in India withstood the shock, since most of the banks were public sector financial institutions. We allege that the Indian public sector banks are being crippled purposely by the Union Finance Ministry, which is vehemently opposed by 10 lakhs employees and the officer of banks. Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitaraman, who shelved the plan due to the intense agitation by the bankers, has revived her attempt to privatize the public sector banks, beside taking all-out steps to precipitate the banking operation through outsourcing, levying exorbitant service charges on financial transactions, etc., while allowing the corporate firms to go scot-free even after their loans became non-performing assets. All these anti-banking industry sabotage are being orchestrated to detail the public sector banking to strengthen further the corporate firms which are waiting to enter banking industry with an eye on the huge deposits, the campaigner said. The campaign was flagged off by Thoothukudi Corporation Mayor Jagan Periswamy here on Wednesday. Union leaders from the banking sector, Life Insurance Corporation, and the Thoothukudi VOC port addressed the campaigners. Friends, प्राइवेटाइजेशन के अगेंस्ट एक और स्ट्रगल बैंकर्स का, और गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया को इससे सबक लेना चाहिए, और जितने भी हमारे पब्लिक सेक्टर बैंक है उनको एज इट इज इंटैक्ट रहने की जरूरत है, ताकि कॉमन मैन की नीड पूरी हो सके। थैंक यू फ्रेंड्स, नमस्कार।